Welcome.
Whoa. We just same time.
Yeah.
Do you want to do this? All right. You
No,
do this
I just
one.
wanted to be funny.
Does it look like I'm wearing a hat? Welcome to this week's episode of StS. We're back again. Today we're going to be talking about the WFPF Pro-Am competition. We brought this up, was it 2 weeks ago?
Yep.
And they hadn't released any information yet. But as of a few days ago, details are out, and everyone's going crazy.
Everyone's going crazy?
Everyone is losing their stuff.
Okay.
Over some of the details. So,
I would say some people are going crazy.
A lot of people.
A lot of other people are indifferent.
That's true. I guess my Facebook news feed has a lot of people going crazy. So we're going to try to make sense of this thing.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Do you have the details? You want to pull those up?
I have the details right here.
Yeah, let's just go one thing at a time here. One thing at a time.
One
that
thing
timer
at a time.
started, I see it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was just trying to sneak that in there. Okay, one detail at a time. So you want to talk about the date? We're going to talk about the date.
Right.
It's April 1st to 3rd.
Soon.
So I think this is going to be an April Fool's joke. I don't think it's actually going to happen. All right, so that's detail number one.
Actually, the date is important because this was announced on relatively short notice for a big event, especially for a company like WFPF's who does
In
bigger things.
Las Vegas,
and I don't know if this is accurate information, but I was told that this event is running in conjunction with another event that they were invited to.
Yeah, so we've heard maybe it's like a cheerleading competition or something like that.
Yeah, possibly. So kind of we talked about this before, and we talked about Mandalay Bay and all this thing. Wow, that sounds really expensive. How is this even happening? And in such a short amount of time.
Yeah.
So really, that's soon. You should be announcing this stuff a year in advance. But
so really, is what it sounds like is it's just being tacked on as like an extra thing to another competition. So
yeah. So there's another sport or competition in there, and parkour is kind of, I guess, bringing in more attention or filling space. We'll see.
To me, that's pretty unfortunate.
Unfortunate. Like Mandalay Bay is the venue is huge, but I don't know what part of the venue it's in. If it's in the giant stadium part, and if the seats are going to be filled. I mean, more eyes on parkour is typically a good thing.
Yeah, that's usually a good thing.
All right, what under the date?
Okay, all right, what do we got here?
We got it.
So we've got some celebrity judges. You want me to go through that list?
Oh, yeah.
We got Ryan Doyle, Daniel Arroyo, Ben Jenkin, Greg Milano, and Eric Joyle. I don't know those last two guys, but I wouldn't consider them celebrity judges.
What movie are those guys in?
What are you talking about here?
Celebrities.
Celebrities?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like,
yeah.
So what's a...
Well, Daniel Arroyo was in several movies.
Actually, okay. So he's a celebrity.
Ben Jenkin is, I'm pretty sure, was also in several movies and commercials.
Well, he's Justin Bieber, so...
He is.
I mean,
yeah.
People can, if they show the judging panel, they'll be like, oh my God.
Ryan Doyle is, the first Ryan Doyle, so. Okay.
All right.
All right, we're done with that.
All right,
all right, okay. We got celebrity host Travis Wong.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, he's hosted other stuff.
Yeah, he has experience hosting things.
Yeah. I wouldn't say he does a bad job. He's pretty good on camera and everything. Like.
Yeah. No, he's got a nice, good camera personality. I wouldn't say he's like.
He's no Frosty Fresh though.
He's no Frosty Fresh. No, not at all. Yeah, I don't think he's like a bad host, but I think there's other more parkour oriented people that maybe would have a better time doing that job.
Yeah, I feel like if it gets to speed courses and things that are more on the traditional parkour side of commentary, he probably lost. But he says host, not so he could just be announcing names, talking to a camera if it's there.
Yeah. I'm sure.
This is not the stuff people are going crazy about. So let's
confirmed competitors. Do we want to talk about that?
Sure.
Yeah. So we've got a pretty stacked list of some talented international athletes that are coming to this event. We've got Eric Mukamention, Bite from Russia, Justin Schaefer, Dyer Sanchez, Chris Hollingsworth, Fernando Arce, Marcus Paul Wilson, Zen Shimada, who won the style competition at NAPC. Corky Toribo, you know Corky?
No.
I follow him on Instagram. He's from Japan. He's a really talented guy.
Oh yeah, that was that.
He does tricking too. He's kind of like a hybrid athlete, which is pretty cool. Another guy from Japan, I can't really pronounce his name, Kunihiko Murayama. I tried. Taishi Nomura, also from Japan. And then we've got Carlo Peraza from Venezuela. Jonathan Hafachuk from Canada, Alberta. Ryan Gregory, Lorena Abreu, and
Lorena's on there now.
Gareth Norville, yeah.
Okay.
So those last two from Rilla Hops down in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, there's some interesting talent that's coming to this event. What do you think about that?
I want to talk about Lorena before I forget, because she messaged me the other day and she was flipping out because apparently they wanted to charge her a registration fee.
Mm-hmm.
And
they invited her, right?
I was invited to this thing. So I feel like stuff like that is and then apparently it was a mistake. Apparently it was, oh, no, sorry, that's a mistake, whatever. But it's just kind of funny that they're not on top of that. Yes. You don't even know who's coming to your event. You're going to try to...
So this is what I really want to talk about right now. So apparently the registration is $150, right? So if you're an interested athlete, you want to participate in this event, you got to pay $150. You probably have to pay, you have to pay your own flight to get out there, and then you also have to pay for your own accommodation. So there's all these costs that are associated with being an athlete, and I understand that's like part of most sports, and I think that's appropriate. But the issue I have with it is all these other athletes, well, including Lorena apparently. So like, they're not going to be paying $150 for the registration.
No, they're in the pro division.
They're in the pro division, so they're invited specifically, right? So they're not paying that registration. I'm sure, actually, because they're getting so many international athletes on such short notice, that they're also paying for those people's flights and accommodation to stay. This is speculative. This is speculative, but this is my assumption: is that like you have to pay for Eric to come. Like, I don't think he's going to just be like,
well, are all these guys WFPF athletes? Are they all like...
I don't know the extent of it. I
sponsored?
think a number of them are.
Okay.
And I think I think Ryan Ford was kind of commenting on a thread somewhere on Facebook that they're stacking their own competition with their own athletes.
Yep.
And potential problems behind that. And yeah, I 100% agree because, it's a little bit excessive. If most of these are WFPF athletes, then that's really unfortunate. But again, like if all these the costs for all these athletes are covered by WFPF, it's really unfortunate they're only giving away one prize, and that's first place.
Yeah,
it's $3,000, which is a good amount of money. But like, imagine I want to go compete in this, and for whatever reason, I feel like I'm going to do really well. I've got to pay for my flight, my accommodation, pay $150 registration fee, and then if I come in second place, I get pretty much nothing.
Yeah, you get the new KO shoes.
Yeah, it's like something I don't want, right?
Yeah.
What I want is money, right? I want money, or and maybe recognition that I did well.
Yeah, I mean, there's other incentives for competing, going there to meet the people. We're just talking to Josh Brower the other day, and he was saying he might be interested in going until we kind of said there's a registration fee and stuff. And one of his incentives for going to things like this is just to see everyone and maybe everybody. To get some information on the competition, see how it's run. Yeah, that's what he said. So those are reasons to go.
Yeah, he wants to be part of
Yeah.
another parkour event, and that's cool.
I'm not entirely outraged at the price or anything. And
The
I know
registration fee?
Yeah, and I know
Yeah.
that's mostly what a lot of people are going crazy about is the $150 ticket to register and be in this thing, and they've already filled it. They've already got their 50 athletes and everything.
Oh,
It's
really?
already, I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Okay.
So
No, that's
or
very
registration closed or something already. So I mean, people paid it. They did it. It's not unusual compared to other sporting events of the same caliber. If you compete on an amateur level, like powerlifting is actually really expensive to enter into a competition and probably requires less setup as well. So these aren't unusual things. These are things that I think in parkour we need to get used to. It is a bit odd to go from the price of the way a lot of events are to all of a sudden. That feels like a big jump in price for a single day event just to compete. Particularly when they
It's
could
not
be
a
making
single-day
money
event.
off. They could be making money off ticket prices, and there's like another day.
There's
to
like
it.
3, so it's the first to the third, right? And they're
Right,
doing
yeah.
like meet and greet with Daniel Arroyo and Ben Jenkin and Ryan Doyle, and I think that might just be for people who kind of just show up, and then they also have like a jam, like community jam or whatever, and they have it for a couple days.
So there is some other stuff going on.
There's some other stuff going on, so
Yeah.
it's not unreasonable. The issue though that I have is when it comes down to you're paying a pretty hefty registration fee, which, like you said, it's not unreasonable if you compare it to like other sports and activities. But they have no proven format that is in any way going to demonstrate.
Well, you also said the athletes that are in there,
Yeah.
and the fact that they're stacking it with their pick of athletes, and this is basically an all-around competition, and a lot of those guys don't seem all-around to me. You got guys like Dante Grazioli already saying I'm not going, even though I think I would do well in it. I don't know if that counts as boycotting or whatever, but
And there's others too.
Yeah.
Other people that were like interested, and then when they found out just like the details of it,
Yeah.
of the format, the details of like the prize money.
Yeah.
And
If I was a top
registration
guy,
fee,
like
they just
if
don't
I was a top guy and I knew I was a top guy, I wouldn't be interested in this. I'd be like, you got to invite me to go to it. If I was a Dylan Baker, a Dante Grazioli, or an Alfred Scott, or someone who'd been on a, just keep listing names, but someone who'd already been on a big stage and competed. There's some guys in there that I don't think have ever competed on a big stage before.
But they're pros.
That really, don't deserve to be called pro. I'm gonna go ahead and say that for this type of event over other people that have to pay to register, and there's no way of proving that. For NAPC we have qualifiers, and that's one thing that's been really important to us over the last 3 years that we've done it. Is I don't care if you won Red Bull or did this or in this competition. You need to come out and prove it now, just like in other sports. It doesn't matter if you've won some other thing somewhere else. Like you might get an invite, but you still
doesn't
usually
matter how
have to,
cool of a video you put out.
Yeah.
Like the fact that you have to be able to prove that you can compete at a high level.
At live too. There's
Live,
a whole
yeah.
different
Yeah.
thing to doing it live. Okay, you started to talk about format there, so I guess we can go into that next.
So
This is more
format. This is what you want to talk about?
I'm a little
Okay.
ticked off about, I guess we'll say.
All right, so there's 3 elimination rounds: speed, alive after 5, and skills round, with the top finishers moving on to the freestyle finals.
Speed is first.
Speed is first. Pure parkour, A to B timed race through the course. Fastest times move on to the alive after
Can I
5.
see what you're wearing today? Are you? Looks like you're.
What is this?
So, it looks like they're doing a speed, skill, style competition.
I wonder where they got that idea
Yeah,
from.
I don't know where they got that idea from. I'm not saying we did it first or anything, but one thing we definitely do with NAPC, though, is recognize that parkour should not be about being an all-around athlete in those 3 types of things. Those are actually 3 areas where people specialize, and they should, because neither of them have the same intention. The talk we had last week, this feels like it just kind of the stuff. We talk about we're basically on the same page with guys like Max Henry and Dylan Baker. These things should be distinct from one another, and you don't have to cool if you're good at all of those. Awesome, good for you. But parkour shouldn't move in a direction where you have to be necessarily good. If you just want to be a traditional parkour guy, or if you want to be more of a freestyle guy, go for it. But this is kind of this competition where they're changing the game, and I don't believe that when we make competition formats in parkour, we shouldn't be changing the game. Like what we try to do is we
reflect the game,
enhance the game. Try to bring the best out of the athletes. Whereas this feels like it's designed to expose the worst for some of the athletes that are going to be there.
Yeah. It's like I'm thinking about somebody like Corky. I want to see him in a freestyle event. He's not going to do well in the speed.
I mean, maybe he's got parkour. Maybe his parkour is decent. I don't even. You follow him, so.
Yeah, I think the kid's super springy, so maybe that will help with him. But for the most part, his skills are bar tricks and tricking. He's got some really good tricking skills, like actual tricking.
Right.
So that's interesting to me.
Do you know if the top, does it say anything there about the 50 people that are paying to register in the amateur competition? Is there a way for them to move up to the pro division if they do well?
I have no idea.
So it might be just invite.
There's a lot of
also, is Lorena the only female in the pro?
Yeah.
Awesome. So she's going unopposed? Or there's probably not a female division.
Or they're not going to recognize her for anything. They're just going to put her, which is,
Looks like she has a good chance of getting best female.
Yeah, if they have that as a category. All right, so what else we got? So after the speed. So I think they're gonna eliminate people out of that.
Okay.
So
bye Corky. Too bad you won't make it to the final round where you're gonna do well.
Which is too bad, man.
Unless they don't eliminate people and it's just collective points or something.
It says
which would be
3 elimination rounds.
Oh, okay, there you go.
So I mean, the second elimination round is alive after 5. Which I've been laughing about this ever since I read it because I don't really get it. Sounds like it could be a fun.
Did you find out what that was though?
Yeah.
You were talking about this.
Yeah.
Okay, so does it come from b-boying? Is it?
It sounds like it's like a b-boy or it comes from tricking even.
Okay.
And it's basically 5 competitors in each 5-minute heat, battling jam style, showing their best tricks and creative lines. So the idea is that, it's 5 competitors for a 5-minute round, and I think you just kind of go when you see an opening, and you just do your coolest thing.
Do you know how elimination works in that type of
I have
format?
no idea because I don't know how it's going to be judged. I'm assuming it's going to be like potentially
just a hand up or
okay. Yeah, they'll do it that way.
Because the funny thing about that is that we've done battle format.
Yeah.
Probably one of the first competitions in parkour community to do battle format that I know of. But it was an afterthought for us, and it was kind of a way to include freestyle athletes in our competition and make it fun. So we did the 2-on-2 thing. We did it for 2 years, and then we stopped. We dropped it for last year because we decided there is a better way to do a freestyle format. It's just head-to-head is easy to judge.
Yeah.
It's super easy. You see one team go, you see another team go. This guy won. You get this immediate reaction versus, so you're comparing two at the same time versus.
This is going to be tricky.
Versus scoring. Yeah, the 5.
This is 5 athletes that you have to choose between.
Yeah, plus
and 5 minutes. 5 minutes of them doing stuff.
A long amount of time too. So it's almost sounds like whoever lasts the longest is going to be.
Yeah. Yeah, and then after that, there's another elimination, and
again, this is another thing where they're changing the game.
Yeah.
Because you don't in parkour you do not go head to head with someone ever for a whole minute or for 5 minutes or whatever it is. If you're jamming with someone, a parkour, because this is like a jam style format of competition or game, in a jam, you know, we might be working on the same thing, and it kind of can have elements of camaraderie or be competitive. You know, I'm not going to deny that sometimes it's competitive, but it's not structured in this way at all.
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking about the athletes that actually make it all the way through. They're going to be so drained by the end of this.
Yeah.
It's going to be actually.
I
think it's going to be too much.
Is that end of the competition all in one day? Do you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
So they have the Alive After 5. After that is the skills round.
Mm-hmm.
So that part is using vaults, drops, bars, and wall. Each competitor will throw one skill using each obstacle. The highest scores move on.
So it's another
to the freestyle.
Oh, and then they move on to. So it's speed comp.
Yep.
Then Alive for 5.
Yep.
Then the skill thing.
Yep.
Then freestyle again. Okay, so this is mostly a freestyle competition with a speed eliminator at the beginning.
Yeah.
I wonder how good Red Bull would be if they did that at the beginning.
I don't know, man.
Hey, let's get everyone to run a race first, and then they can do their tricks after.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what kinds of skills they want. I mean, it says using vaults. I think they might be referring to like a vault block, not the actual skill of a vault.
Okay.
Drops, like as in like a drop off.
Yeah.
Bars and
so
a
it's
wall.
like it's a big move type.
That's what it seems like. Throw one skill using each obstacle. So they have to be able to do one. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 obstacles that they have to do. Mm-hmm. So a trick on or a move on.
Yeah, and I mean, skill to us is we're talking a defined way of completing typically an A to B challenge.
Yeah.
Skill to them is probably going to be more do a triple.
Yeah, maybe. and you know, with the people that they have,
I think if you're techie, it's not going to cut it.
With the people that they have in the event, I think that's what you'll end up seeing. But no, if you have like the techier stuff, like I'm sure like Daniel Arroyo being a judge, like he would reward something like that.
Yeah, but even if they have a setup for it though.
Yeah. Well,
like they say a bar, is it just going to be a single bar sitting there?
Yeah.
And
well, it says bars. There's an S.
Oh, multiple. Okay, so we
maybe
might see some cool stuff. I'm not doubting we're going to see some cool stuff.
No, no, because you have talented athletes. You have talented athletes. They're going to do something cool anywhere. It doesn't matter what this. In spite of the format,
well, assuming they want to, unless
in spite of the format, they will still rise to the occasion.
Yeah, unless they're not taking. Because I know a lot of guys that have gone to Red Bull and other competitions, particularly back in the day, just didn't take it seriously, and didn't do their best stuff. And a lot of times that's why Red Bull Art of Motion isn't particularly interesting to watch for a lot of existing practitioners, because we're seeing better stuff in videos. We're seeing,
Yeah. And some guys are just kind of goofing around, not taking it as seriously, or they're or they mess up because they don't have the benefit of like repeated tries that a video camera allows. Mm-hmm. Okay, freestyle finals, 90 seconds. 90 seconds.
We've talked about, if you watch previous episodes of StS, we talk about length of freestyle competitions really needs to be shorter. Really needs to reflect what athletes are doing. Again, they're trying to change the game.
I don't even think Joey Adrian puts together 90-second runs ever.
No one does.
And he's somebody who has like ridiculous endurance when it
Mind
comes
you, they
to
probably don't have to
doing bigger
use
tricks.
the full 90 seconds, but when you give them that,
it encourages them to continue going longer than they should.
NAPC 1, what was the time limit we did for the freestyle rounds?
Or
was it passes? But I remember that feeling particularly long.
I don't think it was. I don't think we gave them any time restriction.
Oh, okay, no time restriction. But what ends up happening is if you have unlimited time or a large time restriction, I think as athletes think, if I do more, I have a better chance of winning because I can stack up all these moves and show what I can do.
Well, and it works in Red Bull Art of Motion.
It does, yeah.
If you do more stuff, they will reward you for it. Even if you do a smaller amount of stuff and it's really good and clean, you'll still get like a Zephyr beating you because he goes back to the same structure like 40 times and like does the same butt spin move, and then corks and then with his hands here. Sorry, Zephyr. I love
Yeah,
the guy, but
we actually love Zephyr. That was just a bad showing.
yeah. But yeah, so 90 seconds, anything goes, throwdown of the top athletes' best skills combinations, judged on flow, creativity, difficulty, and execution. Same standard judging criteria. But to me, this sounds like anything goes here, anything goes in the skills round, except for like you have to use those specific structures. And then anything goes in the alive after 5. And then speed. It's like there's no like coherent.
Like, I wonder how long the speed courses are going to be too.
This.
Like with the theme of this, I wonder if it's we're going to make 1 minute long speed courses.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Just so everyone's legs are scorched.
Well, because they seem so out of touch with with
the rest of the parkour world.
And with
why are you organizing a competition?
With bioenergetics, they don't understand how long people can
Sports
last.
science, y'all.
Yeah.
Sports science, y'all.
No, this is a really serious topic in parkour. Okay, like people can argue like you might want to train for longer runs or longer lines and things like that, but the majority of parkour practice is done in very short bursts, so 10 to 15 seconds max. Sometimes people go like 20 seconds, maybe 30 seconds max, but that at the end of that they're like huffing and puffing and like they're done, right? And they need tons of recovery time. If 90 seconds, that's 30 seconds.
Yeah.
That's like
how long is
that's 3 times the amount of the longest time parkour people actually practice.
For a 400-meter dash, do you happen to know how long I think like world record is like 45 seconds or?
Yeah, so you're talking like under a minute.
Yeah. So you're gonna do an 800-meter dash essentially, and that'd be at world record times. But what I'm trying to say is that if you've ever ran 400 meters,
it's hard.
It's hard,
and that's just one. That's just one cyclic skill.
And that's the thing about parkour is that all of the skills are very anaerobic. You're not taking in oxygen during this 90 seconds unless you take a big break. But even then, it's probably not enough time to recover.
No.
And if you want to flow and put together a line, you're not going to be able to maintain that for 90 seconds. Again, it's going to feel like running 800 meters, but with all these complex skills and things, That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to think of the average time for like a gymnastics floor routine. I think that's like 30 to 45 seconds.
Yeah.
Which is like long, but then even then they do like a pass and then they do some light like dance kind of thing and then they go to the corner, breathe, and then go again, right?
Yeah.
You're going to see the same thing happen in this parkour thing. You're going to see like...
Also, gymnasts prep for that.
Yeah, and they train specifically for it.
You can't tell me that there is a parkour guy out there that is better prepared for competition than an Olympic level gymnast.
No, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, that has the same amount of energy for competition as an Olympic level gymnast who does an all-around event and everything. I don't care how many muscle ups you can do. Those guys are in shape.
Okay, anyway. so okay. I think we talked about how out of touch they are with the actual sport.
So now we have this
bioenergetics of the athletes. What they're expecting from people.
Yeah.
So
it seems like WFPF, at least in this example, does not know their market, which is parkour. And apparently they're the Federation of Parkour, which I've always had a problem with that title. If it was called like World Freerunning and Parkour Agency,
that would be more appropriate. Because
World Freerunning and Parkour Talent Agency is a more appropriate title for WFPF. I'm actually curious. I'm curious what Max thinks about this whole thing because he did that podcast 2 weeks ago about separating the definitions and stuff. And here is the federation that he is a big part of. He's a big spokesperson for. And here they are showing that they didn't see that. They have no idea what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's the WFPF Parkour Pro-Am.
He put a blog up on their website.
Oh no, yeah, he's putting tons of blogs.
Oh man, just
on
like
their site. I mean, I really like Max, and but it's clear to me that he even him and WFPF are very out of touch. They don't seem to have the same agenda or ideas about the direction of the sport.
And this isn't unfair criticism either. This is like, we're calling it like we see it, you know.
No, you know what?
This isn't even speculation. This is clear from these events.
Okay, so this is actually, I don't know if you know about this, but so for whatever reason, they're hosting on the Saturday. So they have on Friday there's like opening ceremonies, which whatever that means, and then there's a community jam and a meet and greet with Ryan Doyle, Daniel Arroyo, Ben Jenkin, and then Saturday, 9 to 10 a.m. Gym owners getting to know parkour workshop presented by WFPF, USA Parkour, DGS, and Integrated Obstacles. Participation in this forum is free with the purchase of a day pass ticket and is geared towards those professional and business owners who are interested in starting a parkour program. Why is this part of this competition?
More money. That's why.
So for whatever reason, they're just kind of putting this gym owners parkour thing.
Oh dang,
that's our timer.
We've been ranting about this for a while.
Yeah.
All right.
But then it's like they're tacking on this thing. It's like they're just taking this event and they're just like, all right, well, what else can we tack on this that just makes
I'm sure they need more money, and they talked about, said, our first official sponsor is us. No obstacles. Like, that stuff just is annoying. Yeah. Do not pretend that WFPF and No Obstacles are separate companies and that they're sponsoring the event. That's just silly. But I understand, like, they may have, it seems like they got invited into this on the last second.
Sorry. I made a mistake. Yeah. It's not same day. It's So it is. No. So so Saturday is so after that there's like warm up, rules meeting, speed round qualifier, first round speed round qualifier, second round, another community jam and meet and greet with Ryan Doyle, Dan Arroyo, and Ben Jenkin. And then Sunday is the actual competition.
Okay. And then when is the
I guess they're doing speed the first day, and then the second day they're doing Alive After 5 skills and freestyle.
When's
finals.
The workshop thing?
That's 9 to 10 a.m. on Saturday morning.
Also before the competition or before
the competition.
Anyway, I think this whole thing, like you said, you're indifferent to certain things. Indifferent to the price, maybe to the. I think we can agree that the format is trash.
I think
I'm gonna go ahead and say it's trash.
It's it's out of touch. It's out of touch, and we've said all the reasons why. I mean, there's very clear reasons why it's out of touch with.
But here's the dilemma, and here's why I'm still indifferent on the whole event. Is again, it's going to be a lot of eyes on parkour potentially.
Yeah.
And is it right in these situations to boycott such an event, like a lot of people are doing, saying it costs too much, blah, don't go, or should we be supporting it because it's going to be better for parkour? The other thing that occurs to me is that how many chances is parkour going to get at opportunities like this and fail?
Yeah.
Like how many failed TV shows we have?
We got three failed TV shows.
Yeah. How many companies and organizations are going to partner with parkour on a bad idea and then fail, and then years later say, let's give it another shot, or another company based on like parkour is not developing a good track record with these poorly planned events.
Yeah.
These things need to grow organically, and it's a tough call. Like I can imagine being one of the directors of WFPF and getting a call like this and saying, hey, do you want to do an event at the Mandalay Bay, and being like, I can't say no to this, But
everyone wants to be first to do the thing.
Yeah.
But without putting in the work that it takes to actually have a good thing.
Yeah. But I don't even know if that's the case there. If that thought even occurs to them, like be first. I think it's just an opportunity.
Yeah, maybe it just kind of came along.
Let's go do it. So it's a dilemma. So I just hope like everyone considers that. Based on their choices. Like if you're going to make some noise about this either way, consider what the repercussions are. If you boycott it, and no one watches and it flops, consider the repercussions that parkour is only going to get so many chances at doing events like these. And if you're supporting it, consider that you're supporting a thing that is trying to change the game in bad ways, in ways that don't reflect the athletes and need to change.
Yeah, I think it's lose-lose.
Yeah, we can't win here, and you know, I've kind of had this attitude since they first announced it, that these were going to be the problems.
Yeah. Okay, let's end it there, I think.
Yeah, happy ending. Great.
Happy
cool.
ending.
Hey, there's kids in here.
Cheers.
All right, see you guys. Are we doing next week?
If there's news.
If there's
something cool
maybe
happening.
next week will be the week off. Just gonna leave you guys. How official is that? Maybe we'll see you next week. All right, bye.
Cut.